Hello. Um, it's been quite a while since I kind of posted anything on this channel, so I thought this would be kind of like a fun thing that I've never done before, at least like not in public. Um, so I got into this show like over the summer and have been annoying everyone that I know about it. So, um, I had initially I had already like made a tier list maybe around like August or so, around the same time that I had that I finished All Stars, so that had to be like around late summer ish. Um, and obviously my opinions have changed since then. Since season 4 ended and new seasons and like new spin-offs started. Um, so I kind of wanted to just document that and see just how much my opinions changed. Um, it also just kind of felt like a good time to put this out there with season 2, the remake wrapping up and going into the new year and starting season 5. So um, yeah, that's pretty much how this is gonna go. So um, just to briefly explain my tiers, Um, first, we have the twin tier. This basically means um, me and this character are locked in for life. I deeply appreciate them. I love how they're written. I like just how they are, their personality, their presence on the show genuinely makes it better. Um, and I'm going to like just be the first one to admit this. I don't think I'm going to be completely unbiased in where I rank these characters. I don't think there's anyone here who I like particularly hate or anything, but well, except for one guy, and I'm sure you know who it is. But um, I will have more things to say about um some people more than others, and I'll like try to be like nice as possible, especially about certain characters that my friends like. Um, but yeah, all this to say, if anyone gets put up in this tier, they're the best, just in my opinion. Next, we have the high tier, which basically means if I ever see them in the hallway, I am saying hi to them every single day with a smile on my face. Like, they just feel like that person who, like, if you just see in the hallway, you can just say hello to them, and, like, it would be a nice little transaction. Next, we have the I like whatever's wrong with you tier list. Um, so it can be argued that like not everyone in the show is like a good person per se. Um, like I don't know, like this is Disventure camp. There are no rules or morals in this game show. So a lot of people do weird stuff and um I am okay with morally gray characters for the most part. Um, and a lot of the people who are going to be in this tier are going to be people that I like. So I thought this would be like just a pretty good tier because like it would be, I feel like it would have been, it would like warrant more explaining if I put like, a controversial character in like a high tier, you know? So I thought this would be like a good place to like justify that. And next we have the decent tier. Pretty self-explanatory. If you're here, you're decent. I don't think about you very much, but when I do, I smile maybe a little bit. Um, your existence doesn't leave a very big impact on me, but like you're there and I like you. So yeah. Next is the complex feelings tier. I don't know how many characters exactly are going to be in this tier list, but there are quite a few characters, especially people in DC4, who I just can't really like get a very good read on. Um, I have feelings that I need to deconstruct about you as a character. I don't know how I feel about you, how you're written, or like if your time on the show was like did it warrant like did it impact the story in a way that maybe it was meant to, like I can't get a read on them basically. um Next, I don't like whatever's wrong with you. It's also very self-explanatory. You are a weird character who I don't like, and that's probably going to be a minority because I usually really like characters who are just a little bit weird. um Either your existence just kind of rubs me the wrong way, or like I just don't like a thing that you said, and it ended up with you just being in this tier. um and lastly, we have the foghorn sound effect. You stink. You don't do anything for me. I don't like you at all. um yeah, so that's pretty much it for the tiers. I hope it made sense. um but yeah, first we have Aiden. Hello, buddy. He's fine actually. I don't hate him. I was actually kind of surprised to kind of integrate into the fandom space and see that he wasn't very well liked among a lot of people. I think he's fine. Um I do wish they leaned a little more into his his affinity with with the theater, his struggles with like being an actor and stuff, because like it doesn't seem nearly as prominent. Like I know they had like one or two offhanded like lines in the remake of him supposedly being an actor, but no actual real insight into his life, at least in like in regards to that. And obviously there's like All Stars. um I'll get to that in a little bit, but I like his personality. Um I like his sarcasm. I think Weister, who I think is the voice actor, does a very good job with him. um I feel like a lot of these characters wouldn't have nearly as much of an impact on me if the voice acting wasn't very like animated, and it feels very fitting for Aiden. um I do um like his experience with him like being a fan of Disventure Camp and him being on the show and just realizing that he wasn't like built for this. I think it feels very realistic, but I never really understood why he would be embarrassed about being on Disventure Camp. If anything, it would be weirder if he was like Hannah, or like yeah, like Hannah, and he went on the show with like just no knowledge at all of Disventure Camp. Like if I'm on a show like that, I would probably be more comfortable allying with the person who at the very least knows what they're getting into. And oh god, All Stars. All Stars Aiden, he isn't so bad either. I feel like a lot of the issues with him come from the fact that he was just kind of dealt a bad set of cards in this season. Like nothing that he tries to do really works out for him. He gets dragged into a whole ordeal that he had nothing to do with in the first place. Then there was his whole thing with trying to keep the Heroes Alliance together. Like the whole thing was just really sad to watch, and I felt bad for him. Uh, so overall, I would probably put him in decent. He's a pretty okay guy. He's decent. I like him. He gets um I don't know. And also my friend really likes him, so like as I said, I have to be really nice to the friends or to the characters that my friends really like. Um Alec. Uh I don't really know what to say about Alec either. He's fine at the very least. I did really like him on the Villains Alliance, and him and Fiore obviously. I think besides that, um I just don't really think about him very much. I do like his dynamic with Connor. I think him and Connor were a nice little duo. And as I said, I liked his work in the Villains Alliance. I liked watching the control kind of like slip out of his hands like gradually when Connor came back. I liked watching the Villains Alliance kind of like implode on itself a little bit as much as I liked watching the Villains Alliance come into fruition. This isn't even about Alex. See, that's how you know I have just nothing to say about this guy. I think him and Fiore are cute. I think him, uh, well, the alliance in season one with him, Fiore, and Ellie, that was fine as well. I like how him and Ellie had something to bond over. I do wish that was expanded on a little bit more in All Stars, but I guess they couldn't do that mostly because Ellie was on a completely different team. But I think he stands out more as someone who has relationships with other people rather than just like him as an individual. That's just my personal opinion. Um, I'm gonna put him in complex feelings. I don't dislike him, but I don't really like him either. I have thoughts about him that I need to sort out, which will be for a completely different time. Um, I know he's going to be in season 5, so I would like to see him, see how him and I would like to see something between him and Rosa, not a romance, okay? Um, Obviously, there's the Rhea shaped elephant in the room between them, which I think they could probably like relate to each other over. Um, but beyond that, they don't really have anything in common. I actually think Rosa would be disgusted by how he treats his son. Um, but it was just something to think about when I first saw that cast get released. But yeah, Alessio, he's funny. He's funny and he killed a snail to get blue pigment. Um, Personally, I find that resourceful. You're going in the decent tier. Yeah, that's all I have to say about you. Allie! I actually really, really, really like Allie. I really liked her in All Stars. Um, I thought that she was fine already in season 2. I thought she was cute, um, unassuming. You know, her presence on season 2 was pretty harmless, and which obviously went into her more prominent role in All Stars, which I actually thought was okay. I thought she was fine. A little annoying, maybe, but like, I don't know. I feel like it just didn't warrant the hatred that she got. Um, I definitely think that her experience with like online harassment and like her being a content creator, um, it kind of like it's kind of like a parallel to how things are in real life, to where people are like put under constant scrutiny and like everything they say and do is like judged and easily accessible to people on the internet, especially since like she's literally been on a reality show and like seemed to already be like a semi public figure, like she already seemed kind of popular on the internet. So I think it makes sense for her to act like just like have like such like a visceral reaction to like online harassment and hatred. Like she's very it's not something that she's like not used to. because like she's in like that online creator space. And I think it also is worth mentioning that like a lot of things that like online creators face, especially if you're like a woman streamer, like if you're just like a girl online playing games, people are gonna hate you for no reason. It's something that we're like familiar with. And it feels realistic for Allie to go through something like that. And it makes sense for her to be mad at Hunter for not getting it because, like, he's not a girl. And he probably wasn't nearly as online as she was. That's just me assuming. Hunter never mentions him facing harassment. Or if he does, he doesn't talk about how he deals with it. It's mostly just like in relation to Allie. But yeah, I think Allie's story is one that explains how misogyny can seep into like gaming communities and the internet and how that stuff affects you. And I do like how the season 2 remake has kind of leaned into that a little bit with a few scenes with like her checking her phone or whatever, seeing like trolls, acknowledging the trolls in her comments. Obviously those people get to her, and it makes sense that she keeps bringing them up like a year later, because like she's in the public eye even more. So it just makes sense. And I just think Allie's funny. Like I don't know, I thought she was funny. I thought obviously I love her relationship with Tess. I really like how instead of it kind of being a weird romance between the three of them, the platonic relationship and the building of trust seem to take precedence over whether or not romantic feelings were going to be in the picture. So I just like that out of her. Um, and I'm going to put her in the high tier list. I think I would probably say hi to her in the hallway and we would be friends. Okay. Amelie, another character that I really like. Um, Honestly, I can't really explain why I like Amelie very much. I just thought that her uh, personality was very striking. I really, really like her relationship with Hannah. I think it's the sweetest thing ever. They are such a sweet little duo. And I like how like, it's so obvious that her being on this show fundamentally changed her as a person. Like, yeah, she's a go-getter. She knows what she wants and she doesn't stop at anything to get it. She is kind of a control freak. She's a little bossy. She is um she's that very uh very like controlling character where if like anything goes out of her control, she kind of loses it a little bit. Um and I really like that out of a character. I think that's a very realistic flaw to have. And I don't know. I always thought she was funny. I loved how she returned just for a little bit, just for her to wreak havoc and then leave. Um, yeah, she's one of my favorite characters, at least in season 4. She's like probably my second favorite. I'll put her in the twin tier list. Would we be friends? Probably not. But that kind of doesn't really matter. I'm not ranking these off of whether or not we would get along in real life, but like, it's just something to think about. Anastasia. Oh man. I have a lot of thoughts about Anastasia. Ones that I can't really explain, at least not in one video where I'm ranking a whole bunch of other characters. So, Anastasia. I initially really, 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 really liked Anastasia. I just liked her. I liked her personality. Uh, she was that like just that very like strong, headstrong character, knows the ins and outs of social, like just the social games. She was very clever, strategic. You know, just that character who you would want to root for just because they know what they want and they're gonna get it. But over time, and I think this is the case for a lot of other people too, it felt weirdly written. Like, I do understand what they were going for with Anastasia, and I didn't mind it for the most part, but I feel like it could have been executed a lot better. Um, I like it's very easy to understand why she's like this, why she is so abrasive, and why she feels like she can't not be so aggressive with people. It's the way, it's kind of like her survival instinct. And that's fine. I actually really like that. But if it were executed just a little more carefully, I think it would be easier to emphasize with her decisions than it is how it is in the show. Um, I just feel like a lot of the decisions that she makes are too hasty to be just considered just pure strategy, like she claims it is. um, so I'll put her in complex feelings. I don't hate her. I don't hate her. I think my feelings on her are mostly positive. I just feel like she's one of those characters that didn't fully stick the landing. Um, but yeah, overall, she's fine. Ashley. Okay, Ashley was probably one of my first favorite characters, at least in season one, when I was like half paying attention to what was going on. I like Ashley. She's fine. Um, I think she's sweet. Uh, her presence in All Stars annoyed me, not because of Ashley herself, mostly because of Jake, which I'll get to. Uh, I don't know. I just feel like she went through too much just for it to kind of go nowhere, and then just for her to become like babysitters of two full grown adults. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like it. And I didn't really like her behavior towards Fiore either. She did burn her clothes. I will give you that. She did burn her belongings horribly. Probably knowing that she had a fear of fires. So, um, Ashley, she's sweet. She's a nice little character. I'll probably put her like, um, next to Allie. I actually don't really know how tier lists work, so like if I were to put her like right in front of her, that would probably mean I like her more, which I don't. So I'm gonna put her right here. Um, Benji. Um, I used to really not like Benji. I thought he was annoying. I thought he was just really weird around the women, and I just generally didn't like him as a person. He felt like a little too much like those boys in economics class who just really live to piss you off. Um, but I grew very attached to Benji over time. I really like him now. He's so cute and funny. I like his personality. I love him just kind of exploring those feelings of feeling out of place in life, not really knowing what he wants to do with himself, um, finding a community that accepts him, and just like uh just embarking on a path of like self-discovery. I'm always gonna like characters like that, so I'm gonna put him in. I'll put him in the. I'll put him here. I'll put him right here. Well, do I like Benji more than Allie? No. But I would like to see them interact in season 5. That's probably like one of the main things I'm looking forward to in season 5 is these two nerds interacting. I'll probably put him like right next to Ellie. There we go. Connor. I have no strong feelings on Connor. I don't think about him. I think his glasses are fine. I think he's fine as a person. I definitely don't think that he deserved to go through what he did with Rhea. I'm happy that he's in a better place now. Um uh I don't know. He's fine, I guess. I'll put him here. He's not the worst, not the best. I think he looks a little too old to be 50. Am I crazy for saying that? He doesn't look 50. No 50-year-old that I know has a full head of gray hair. I don't know 50-year-olds like that. But I digress. Anyway, Dan. I like Dan. I don't think about Dan a lot, but when I do, I think he's fine. I wish he would come back for another season. I know he was in Tom Jake. He had a nice little cameo. It was nice to see him again. He was funny for the like 5 voice lines that he had. I'll probably put him in the decent tier as well. I did like how he seemed to be the only one on Teal Team who was thinking. um he did try. He did try his very best with the cards that he was dealt, but yeah. He was there and then he wasn't. I don't think about him. Derek. I don't like Derek. Yeah, I no. Diego. I like Diego. I think he's cute. I am deeply saddened about his storyline. It feels like that's the last we're gonna see of him for quite a while. As it would be for a lot of other characters in season 4. I just think that he's a sweetheart and he deserved a lot better than he got. I wish that we saw more of his love of nature and sharing that love with other people. I don't have any like very big feelings on him and Spencer. Obviously, they're way better off not getting together, at least in my opinion. I feel like he was kind of just written off in favor of Spencer, which is kind of like a whole nother issue within itself, which is like a not just a Spencer issue or not just like a Diego issue either, but like a Disventure camp issue. But I will save that for I don't know, my notes app or something. So I'll put him in the I'll put him like out of all of the characters here, he's like the most decent. So I'll put him there. Drew, you're fine as well. I'll put you I'll put you like right in front of Dan because I like him a little more than Dan. I think he's cute. Yeah, I just think he's cute. I don't have any very big feelings about him beyond that. Ellie, um, another favorite from season 1. I like Ellie. I really like Ellie. I do think there are things that can be said about how she played in the game, like her deciding to become more ruthless with how she was playing in All Stars, and like her intentionally burning bridges like with her and Jake to just to get into the finalist spot. I think there definitely is a line between there is like a very gray boundary between moral like discrepancies and like doing what it takes to win. And I feel like Ellie is a very good example of that theme that Disventure Camp likes to incorporate in its story. Overall, I think Ellie as a person is like I don't think that like Ellie is a bad person. I don't think a lot of people in this show are like horrible people, and I don't think that like the way they play in this game show defines them as people. Um, Obviously there are exceptions, which I'll get to, but I like Ellie. I don't. Obviously there are things that she did, which I, which like require like those are like reprehensible at the very least. They just like are objectively bad things to do. So yeah, I'll probably put her in like um do I put her in the complex feelings tier list? I guess I'll put her there. She's like out of everyone here in the complex feelings tier list, those specific feelings are the most positive. So like she'll go here. Emily. I really love Emily. I adore Emily. I don't know what it is. I think I was like initially drawn to her just based off of her design. I loved her glasses. I loved her hair. I loved her eyeshadow. I just thought that she was super pretty. And while I do think her storyline in All Stars could have been a little bit stronger, like it didn't really leave a very big impact on me. Like besides her and Trevor, I really like her and Trevor together. I think they're very cute. But obviously her presence in season 4 is fun to watch, and just watching her like grow as a person on season 4. It wasn't even like a big subplot either. It was just her trying to adjust and learning to grow from the things that she did in All Stars, and I liked that. And I'm very, very excited to see her host in season 5 because, first of all, we needed a new host. It was about time we got Derek and Trevor out of there. I'm sorry. But yeah, I love her. I'm gonna put her in the twin tier, right next to Amelie. Wedding intern, anybody? Fiore. I love Fiore. There's just no questions there. I love Fiore. I think she is really funny. Uh, I really like thinking about what her home life could possibly be. Well, not that I like thinking about it, and that like I revel in the possibility that she could be having just kind of a rough home life, but like I just like thinking about like where could this kid have possibly been like just dropped in, and like what events led to her being on Disventure Camp in the first place. Like I don't know. I I obviously think that she kind of had like a very rough home life, probably very complex relationship with religion, because she's like in a boarding school. But overall, I think she's a strong character. A lot stronger in her debut season than All Stars, that's for sure. She got like just the worst cards dealt to her. It was terrible. Everyone hated her, even people who weren't even on her season. I'm looking at you, Hunter. Um, she didn't really get a chance to be anything different. So, I'll put her in the high tier. Um, maybe I'll put her like a little bit. Right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Gabby. I love Gabby. I love her. She was my. She was another. Actually, yeah, she was like a very close favorite next to Ashley until she eventually became like my favorite overall. I really, really love Gabby. I think she's so cute. I think she's funny. Um, I love her. Oh, look who she's next to as I say this. I love her and Gret's relationship. I love their friendship, but like their little rivalry in season one is entertaining to watch. Uh, I think it's very sweet seeing her gain friends. As uh, it feels very far removed from season one when everyone was just calling her a weirdo freak or like calling her crazy and like I don't know, it felt nice to just see her be loved. And I don't know, I love Gabby, she's very cute. I want to put her in the twin tier list. I'll probably put her like here, or I'll put her here because I like her more than Amelie. I like her more than hello. Yeah, I like her more than Amelie. So that's where she's gonna go. Gret, another favorite. I adore Gret. I This might be a hot take, but I really liked Gret in season one. I thought she was a very good antagonist. Um, uh, she wasn't like, I wouldn't say that Gret was the strongest player, but she knew, obviously she was very like clever. She knew how to take advantage of people very well. Um, and knew how to talk people into voting with her. I liked her in All Stars as well, even though I thought she was kind of like a little stronger in season one. I do like seeing her be vulnerable in All Stars and like seeing her break out of that mold of of trying to get people's like approval, specifically Yule's approval. But I'm also referring to her family and her mother and like how she gets constantly compared to her brother, and just kind of abandon that altogether and pursue a life that she wants to live. I just really like that out of her. I think she's super cute. I love she's just sweet, and I like how that balances out with like her her wit and her cleverness and like her sharpness, and I just really like her. And also her and Gabby are just so cute together. I love them. They're very adorable. So I'll put her here because I like her more than Allie. Oh, speaking of which, I love her and Allie. That's just, I don't know. I just wanted to say that. I think their little weird dynamic they had going on briefly was very cute. Hannah. I really like Hannah. I feel like I'm going to say this every time I see a character that I like, but I really like Hannah. Um um I think I had kind of some hangups about Hannah around like the mid to late season, maybe, because when you think about it, Hannah is kind of a hypocrite. Um, because there was that whole thing with her being mad at Zayd for getting Benji out while she was single-handedly responsible for getting Ivy out. Um, but I like hypocrite characters, honestly. I like when characters aren't being 100% truthful to themselves, and um, I just feel like being contradictory to yourself is a very strong way to like build a character flaw. And also, I deeply relate to her grief and like just her feelings around her mother, um her fear of building new relationships out of fear of losing them even temporarily. like it was rough to watch her go through that because it felt real, at least to me. Like that kind of stuff is difficult to deal with, especially if you spend such a long time completely ignoring that those feelings exist and pretending that everything is fine when it isn't. Um, Seeing her unravel was uh very like kind of on the nose bit, like to where it was almost kind of a joke at some point. Um, like obviously the Hannah curse thing, but it did land, at least to me. I think it landed. Um, I do like how her elimination was handled, at the very least. It felt like a nice little antithesis to kind of like her experience on the show. Like Hannah just kind of wanted to have fun. She's a young adult, just trying to experience new things in life and just have a nice time. And I think her elimination was just a nice little reminder that it was just a game, and her mentality deteriorating the way it um did was just a lot more trouble than it was worth. And it was kind of like a good wake-up call for her. And I just think her friendships with people are very like cute. She has a lot of like good chemistry with people. I love her and Amelie, as I said before. I love her and Benji. Um, uh, her and Logan, I guess. I don't know. Whatever, they're fine. I love her and Tristan. I really love her and Tristan too. So, I'll put her. I'll put her maybe. I'll put her right here. I'll put her right here next to Benji. As nature intended. Hunter. This is one of those characters who I have to be really nice to. If I had recorded this video or made this tier list any earlier than October, this guy would probably at least be here. I just didn't care very much about Hunter. I didn't really particularly hate him. I just didn't, he didn't really stand out to me. I definitely liked the girls more than I did him. And I don't know, he was just some white guy that was there. I didn't care about him. Season 2 made, the remake made me care about him a lot. The season made me care about him more than I should, basically. I think he's funny in this version. He's hilarious, actually. I love how he needs to use greeting cards to say hi to people. And I feel like his personality and like just experiences is relatable to people, and how kind of like just how to deal with being poorly socialized as an adult. Maybe not even adult. You can probably be a teenager and still relate to Hunter. And I love how I like how sensitive he is when it comes to things like mental health with him and Tess, like how he approached Tess, how gently he speaks of his mother and her depression. I just thought it was really, really sweet. I like Hunter a lot in this season specifically. All Stars Hunter I don't really care for. I'll probably put him in the decent tier. Like, maybe here. Yeah. Isabel. Oh my gosh. Okay. I like Issa. I specifically, this is kind of weird. I specifically like how her relationship with religion played into how she played the game. Like like the biggest example I can think of was her playing her idol to get Marissa out, or just so happening to get Marissa out, because really it could have been either her or Anastasia. And Zayd's reaction to her idol play, and how this became this whole thing with Isabel questioning her morality and her faith. If she was a good person for doing that, is she a bad person? Like it felt like one of those things that I mentioned before about how the decisions you make in the game don't always define you as a person. Um, I feel like she's like probably one of those strongest candidates for that theme, and I like that out of her. She also just played a good game. Like she was very intelligent, and I adore her relationship with Jade. I love it. I think it's the sweetest, probably one of my favorite friendships out of this show. Um, but yeah, I like her. She's very cute. I'll put her in here. You are the first character to actually be in this tier. I like what her issue is. I like what her issue is. Um, Ivy. Like Ivy. She's cute. She's a cute little theater kid. Um, I specifically like how she's acted. Like, the voice actor does a really good job with her. I feel like I wouldn't care about her nearly as much if she didn't have like a very animated personality. Like you're kind of forced to pay attention to Ivy at some cases. Um, yeah, I don't think I have a lot to say about Ivy outside of the Vibe Tribe stuff. I don't know. I'll probably put her in like the mm, I'll put her in the decent tier. I like her the most out of all of the decent tier characters, so I'll put her here. Um, Jade. Okay. So I know that relatability isn't the end all be all of whether or not a character is good, but like, oh my gosh, I see myself in Jade so deeply. I deeply resonate with her, her story, her her experiences, her growth on the show, down to her freaking like interest in marine biology. This character has just so just like has I see myself a lot in her. A lot of my own experiences growing up are reflected in Jade, and I like how it's executed for the most part. I really like Jade. Like she comes on the show like just having no one and having nothing, and coming out of the show with like just the tightest little support group ever, and like it's so sweet how they just like unconditionally support her. It's so cute. I love her friendships. I love her and Benji. I love her and Isabel. I love her and Spencer. Her and Spencer together were like probably one of the few times where I actually tolerated Spencer. Um yeah, I also really like how she kind of struggles with being vulnerable, I guess. Like specifically she has trouble opening up to people, obviously. And that stems from like just being not a very sociable person, and obviously her being bullied for her vitiligo. Um but like I it is it was like hard to see, but I liked kind of seeing her close herself off and like just gradually become more and more open with the people that she meets. Her making the decision herself to open up to people more. Not something that's like being was like forced upon her. Um and just her actively choosing to listen to people, her being the best supporter that she can. Like I don't know. I think that she's genuinely a sweet character, not like the cold and like purely analytical person that people think she is. Like, yeah, she's strategic, she's clever, but that's not all that is to her. And I think the show does a pretty good job at displaying that. And do not ask me on my opinion on the finale. I will get mad. So, um, needless to say, I love Jade so much that I have made tier, a secret top tier, a Jade tier that will go above every other character in this show. No one can top her. That's how much I like Jade. There is like, unless something truly magical happens where Alec or something does something so like impactful that he somehow manages to top her, it's just like not happening. For now, she's gonna be up here, and that's how it's gonna be. That's how much I like her. Um, Jake, this guy. Oh, this guy. Um, I want to give Jake his own tier. Speaking of separate special tiers, I want to give Jake his own tier, and if I did, it would probably be somewhere in between this little area. Because here's the thing, I have grown to tolerate Jake. He's fine. He is okay. He um like I never hated Jake, I don't think. I just kind of rolled my eyes a little bit whenever he popped up. There were times where I kind of wanted to be like, okay, yeah, you're getting there. Good job, kiddo. Pat on the back. And sometimes I just kind of wanted to grab him and shake him really hard because he didn't think ever. And to the point where it cost other people the game, like Ashley, for example. Like, like I don't know, just making dumb decisions, not being a very smart boy. A very smart man, actually. This is a grown man. Let me not even do that. Um, uh, but Jake, if I chose to not make a separate Jake tier, if I just like, I would probably put him in. I like whatever's wrong with you. Maybe like whatever your issue is, whatever your issue is. Peace and love, Jake. Peace and love, Jake. Um, get it together, buddy. I don't know. I know he's fine. I know he's fine and Tom Jake and living his best life, but like, come on. Anyway, um, James, my favorite iPad baby. I think James is really funny. He makes me mad as much as he makes me laugh. Um, um, I kind of think his earlier rendition is maybe a little more well suited if they're like obviously they're still going for James being season two's winner, but I feel like in this season, which like he's great on every other front. um I for example, I do really love the decision that they made to make James not already be like super famous and whatnot, just have him be like a clout fiend and like constantly do anything for likes that he didn't already have. But I kind of wish that he was on the offense maybe just a little more. Like he felt more malicious in the last in like the beta, and now he just feels kind of like catty. I don't know. Like even with him and Yule, it kind of felt like he was immediately done with Yule, even though in the beta he was at least willing to entertain Yuleisms up until he pitched the idea of poisoning Aiden to him. So I don't know, if he was like maybe a little more like just kind of a little more of an asshole in uh the remake, I would be like 100%. This is definitely an improvement. He's uh an improvement in like all other aspects though, but like it's just this one part that I'm kind of like about. So I'll probably put him in like I'll put him in the decent tier. I'll put him next to mm, I'll put him next to his hubby. Why not? Um cuz I like him. He's fine. Jensen, I don't think about you. I probably should have made like a I don't think about you tier, but like yeah, I don't think about him. He's Jensen. He's there. Kai, I like Kai. Um, I liked the part where he flipped off Yule. I think that was very funny. Um, yeah, that's about it. Um, I'll put you in the decent tier as well. Maybe here. Yeah, Carol. Um, Carol. I adore Carol. Like just hear me out, okay? I generally like characters like Carol, at least female characters. That's just kind of me being biased. Um, but I like characters like her. I like in the sense that like she's rowdy. She is very defensive and closed off, but um snaps at people whenever they kind of press her a little bit, even though it's a little more obvious this time that it comes from a place of never really being able to be vulnerable and reach out to people, and like I don't know, just her general standoffish personality. um but yeah, I think Carol is like a pretty decent character. I thought, at least, like there was never a point where I hated her or anything. I actually think that she's, for the most part, kind of justified in her actions mostly. Um, I definitely don't think she deserved to have her leg broken, like a lot of people seem to think for whatever reason. Um, and honestly, she's kind of funny in the remake version. Like she's funny, and I like her voice. So, um, I'll put Carol in like the I'll put her here because like if I put her up here, like if I wanted to, she doesn't feel like the kind of person who would say hello to me in the halls. That's why. Wait, I gotta put her. Yeah, I'll put her here. She's my favorite out of these three. Crystal. Oh brother. Okay. um. Oh, I'm on a roll with the uh weird opinion, so I'm just gonna say I like Crystal. Crystal is actually one of my favorite characters. I like Crystal because she's terrible. I'm just gonna say that I love Crystal because she's bad and like just all aspects. She's bad at her job. She can't host to save her life. She hired a contestant to be her intern, didn't pay said intern, and then fired him, realized she couldn't do any of this by herself without his help, and then brought him back, and then needlessly overworked herself to prove that he doesn't have to do her job without people being mean to him. I don't know. I don't know. She just goes about everything just kind of the wrong way. Oh, and also she took money out of her employee's paycheck um to fund season 3, which kind of took a nosedive after a certain amount of episodes anyway. So, um I like Crystal just because she's kind of awful in every way. Um she's kind of the character I specifically made that I like whatever's wrong with you tier for. So you're gonna go right here next to Carol. Yeah, that's my opinion. Um, like, uh, no questions there. I adore Lake. I adore Lake. She's probably my second favorite next to Jade. Yeah, I really love Lake. I think her character is a little stronger in season 2. Like I kind of wish there were some things that were a little more overt in this version that season 2 didn't shy away from, like for example her like this is kind of weird, but I kind of wish they didn't erase the fact that her parents didn't let her eat very much, and things like that, cuz it kind of felt like the extent to her abuse that she was facing just kind of was um it felt a little more surface level than the original version, which um I don't know, like obviously it's still easy to tell that like she had kind of a rough relationship at home, like with her parents, and seeing her break free of that lifestyle and just living the life that she wants to is still very lovely and impactful. But that's just my personal opinion. But either way, I love Lake. That's not gonna change, and um, I'm excited to see her in season 5. Lil, um, she was actually one of my favorites, and she would still be one of my favorites if we see her in anything at all. I just really want to see more of her. Not even in a competition. I just want to see what she's up to. Like, I don't know. She seems like such a nice lady, and like, we don't see anything of her ever again. It makes me sad. I like her. We want more Lil content. Odd Nations. Can we make this happen? Anyway, I'm gonna put you in the decent tier. I'm gonna put you right here. Yeah. Logan. Um, oh god. I kind of want to save him for last just because I don't know. I don't know. I'm not emotionally prepared to elaborate on any of my feelings about Logan right now. Should I skip? It's my video. I'm gonna skip. Whatever. Linda. Linda. Nah, who am I kidding? I'm gonna go to Logan. Let me just get it out the way. Logan, you are a impression. I'll tell you that. I actually fairly like Logan even after all of the nonsense that was uh post merge Disventure Camp season 4 Carnival of Chaos. Um I I don't hate him. I just feel like there are a lot of things that and I initially I didn't even agree with this idea that people were pitching at the time, like maybe like late summer. That but it really seems like there are just a lot of things that the narrative lets Logan get away with that other characters aren't. Like um I feel like his whole thing with being friends with everybody to the point where he can't stay loyal to one single person is a very is a like a solid storyline to have with a character like him. Um but like if they were trying to go for something to where no matter what choice he makes, isn't ever really gonna please everybody, it kind of feels weird to, in the end, have him just end up with everyone being his friend almost. Like he's on good terms with basically everybody, even Zayd. I didn't even think that man was ever gonna even want to see him again after this. But like like I don't know. Like it's fine to have him like eventually commit to the whole flipping on people thing. Like in every season there was a flipper. I don't really care, but it felt like too little too late, where it hardly felt like a strategical move and just something that he like backed himself into a corner thinking, okay, I'm just gonna go with this now for the rest of the season, and that's that. Like I don't know, it didn't feel methodic, like it didn't feel like a calculated move. It was just pure impulse every single time, and I didn't like that it was being painted off as like something that was strategic when it very clearly wasn't. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of him winning. Um, I feel like with the theme of his character, his relationship with failure, his hangups over getting bronze, and like how his fear of swimming wasn't actually about him being scared of swimming, but rather him being scared to fail. I think it would have been better to have him lose and him just learning to be okay with failure, because he's going to have people who support him no matter what. Like literally, if he won or lost, he was going to have everybody. That's literally a given. Um um but yeah, that's all I have to say. Which kind of sucks because like he's a nice guy. He's someone who like you would genuinely want to have in your corner. Like he's a nice person, but uh, I don't know. I can't deal with any more lovable himbo idiots on this show, so I'll uh, I'll put you here. I'll put you right here, I guess, because I have feelings I gotta sort out about Logan. Linda, I actually really like Linda as an antagonist, at least. It really sucks, and this is kind of like why I kind of have such a rough relationship with DC4, because it feels like a lot of things are left unresolved for a lot of characters, and like just knowing that a lot of these people we're not going to see a, either again or just for a very long time. A lot of the people who we want more out of are not going to get that, and Linda is one of those people. um I did like her for what she did, or like just I liked her for what she was on um on this season. I really liked her and Anastasia's rivalry dynamic, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I liked I liked the juxtaposition between their personalities, with Anastasia being like very belligerent, defensive, sometimes taking the first move to be like to single out Linda and be like, "Hey, what's up with you? You're like, I don't know, you're very much you're oppish. We got to get rid of you." And like look, Linda just kind of trying to do what's best for her. Um but yeah. I'll probably put her I'll probably put you here. Yeah, you're gonna go right there. Maggie. Maggie is very cute. I liked her for the little time that she had on season 2, the remake. She's a lot stronger as a character. Um, we get a whole lot more out of her with the little time that she has, and I do appreciate that. Her voice actor also does a great job at bringing her to life too. she feels more animated and like more lively. I like how we actually see her gradually build the confidence that she ends up leaving the show with. Um, she also punched Yul in the eye, which I deeply appreciate. So for that, I'm gonna put her in. I'm gonna put her here. I'm gonna put her in the high tier. I think if I say hi to her in the halls, she will happily wave back, and I think it'll be sweet. Marcus. Marcus, you're okay. I don't think about Marcus. I like your puppet a little bit more than you. I'm gonna put you in the decent tier. Yeah, you're gonna go right here. Marissa. Oh my god. Okay, Marissa. I another initial season 4 favorite. I think Marissa deserves the world, and I think the way that she was just completely written off in season 4, I thought it was so frustrating and annoying. I wish she got better than what she had. I just think that um like I feel like they could have done a lot more with her, like with her struggling with leadership and how she learns to kind of like accept the input of people who aren't Anastasia, who like her, cuz she's a sweetheart. She tries to listen to other people, and it doesn't always like work out for her, obviously, cuz like not everyone is satisfied with what she does. um but I don't know, I would love to see her just have more, like I feel like there are parts of her character that are underutilized and could have been used with other people, but that opportunity just like isn't ever taken in the show, and that sucks because I really like Marissa for what she is, but I I like Marissa conceptually for what she could be a lot more, and I never really like to do that with a character because that just means that in canon they aren't the strongest, at least not by themselves. With other people, Marissa is like stands out a lot more. But um I do really 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 love Marissa. I think she's very cute and sweet. So I'm going to put her in the high tier. I'll probably put her like right next to Gret. Yeah, there you go. Miriam. Um that's a given. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Miriam. I adore her. Um yeah, I'm going to put you in the I'm going to put you here. I love her. That's a given. I love her her development, how she learns to be more open with people, her finding a new family and surrounding herself with people who she loves and who she can care for after suffering just like such a tremendous loss and never really getting through it by herself. And yeah, I love Miriam. She's the best. That's mama. That's mama right there. Speaking of mother, yes, Natalia. I love Natalia. She is so funny. She's um as for her actual like, I feel like a lot of my opinions on Natalia stem from her like the decisions that she makes game wise, which were not very smart. Like um like I liked her and her and Richard and Logan together, like her kind of going against and also like her dynamics with the Girls Alliance and her eventually just like being so fed up with Anastasia and like just that whole ordeal in general. Um, um, Unfortunately, we lost her to the Great Spencer War of 2020 of 2025. So, um, I guess I'll put her in the. I'll put her in the high tier. If I say hi to her in the hall, she'll definitely say hi to me. I'll put her maybe here. Yeah. Oop. Yeah. Okay. Nick. Moving on. Nina. She's funny. I'll give her that. She's funny. I love her cursing Aiden's bloodline for generations. Um, but besides that, I don't think about her. I'll put you right next to your dad. Here, there you go. Oliver. I don't think about him either. I think him and Crystal are cute though. So I'll maybe put you here. I'll just put all the staff there, whatever. Richard. You're fine. Yeah, you're fine, I guess. I'll put you here. I really don't think about like a lot of these people. I'm real. Oh God. Okay, this is a big one. Rhea. Um. Okay, this one. Shoot. I had a lot of time to think about the ending of All Stars after I finished it and how I felt about her winning All Stars. And from a narrative standpoint, I like it. I'm not saying that in that I think she deserved to win All Stars, but in a narrative sense, yeah, I liked that decision. It felt like the best possible decision. With what they were going for, I probably would have been a little unsatisfied if Jake had won. But yeah, I'm fine with Rhea's victory for the most part because her not deserving it is kind of the point. But when it comes to Rhea as a character, yeah, I like it for the most part. It you kind of drive yourself into a circle thinking about Rhea for a little too much, for a little too long. Like a lot of the things that she goes through is self-inflicted, like at least on the show. Like she spends so much time being paranoid and frustrated with her circumstances and like just this feeling of not having a community that when she finally has one, she takes it for granted and loses it in an instant. And I think that's very tragic to have a character go through. I think there's like something to be said about like her observational skills and like how she like basically just like she's basically like a sponge in season 2 where she watches people make these morally questionable decisions and like how easy it is for people to like just betray each other on this game and like just basically all of the things that ultimately lead her to make the decision to become the person to like become the antagonist that we know her for. It's really fascinating to see, and I think that fascination was what made me grow to like her. um I don't know, I just tend to really like characters like this that feel like kind of like self-fulfilling prophecies in a way. So um Rhea, I'm gonna put her in the I like whatever's wrong with you tier. That's what Rhea is to me. She is a woman with a lot of issues that I like to kind of like dissect like a it's like slicing a frog open for an experiment. Is that weird? That's probably like that was like the worst analogy ever. But like she's fun to think about. She's fun to think about. I feel like she is, for all the nonsense that goes on in All Stars. Um, I definitely think if like maybe if All Stars wasn't like that, I think her winning would probably land a little bit better for some people, most people. Um, but either way, I like her. I like her and her evilness. Um, yeah. Rosa Maria. Rose, I love her. She's really, really sweet. She is a much stronger character this time around. Um, I still really what initially drew me to her was her her just like her insistence on being kind and helpful despite having struggled and just like not wanting other people to experience what she felt, and that she doesn't want people to feel alone. She doesn't want people to feel like they're going through struggles by themselves. Um and like I don't know, she feels like a she feels like she reminds me of people that I know in real life, which is kind of weird. Like I have family members in real life who act just like her, and I don't know. She's just a little bubbly, cute character. I love her, and um I really like how protective she is of people, and um and I especially like, and this is just something that I noticed going into the remake, how very enthusiastic she is, and like how nosy she is about like getting the deets on other people's lives, what they want to do with themselves, their goals, their aspirations, their hobbies, what makes them happy. Like the moment she got alone with Lake, she just started like digging into her about like her home life and stuff, and I think that's really funny. Like she's just somebody who like would just like intently listen to you and just let you talk about yourself for like hours, and she would like not even slightly nod off. She's drinking in every single word you're saying, and I love that out of her. um she just feels like that person who you would just like never not want to be around. I love her. And something that I also noticed about her is kind of like her um how she kind of expects people, at least her friends, to want to confide in her and trust her with uh their troubles, but when it comes to her, it's a little harder to get that out of her. Like namely when it came to how her parents reacted to her having Sophia. um she kind of like deflected that question a little bit. I think this was episode 2. I'll have to go back and check, but that was something that came to mind, and I find that very fascinating. um I really like characters like that, characters that kind of don't practice what they preach. um so she's a very strong character for me. She definitely moved up, so I think I'm gonna put her in the twin tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put her right next to Gabby. There she goes. Um, Spencer. You're another character who, if I really wanted to, I can give their own tier. Actually, I'm gonna do that. I'm genuinely gonna do that right now. This is the Spencer tier. This is where Spencer is gonna go. Okay. Um, you're a character. I don't dislike Spencer. I don't like him either. I think your existence in season 4 was more than enough, and we don't need to see you again, but you're here and I'm gonna have to deal with it, so let's move on. Ted, I don't think about Ted. You're going here. Tess, you're a character I think about a lot. I love Tess with my whole being. I think everyone who ever said that she was a villain or whatever needs to get down on both knees and apologize and beg for forgiveness like a dog, because it is unbelievable how people saw evil in this woman when she is literally the kindest, gentlest soul ever. I adore Tess with my whole being. I love her. I love her. Um, she's so sweet and like just emotionally intelligent and thoughtful, and her um experiences and like just like her how her mentality is explored in this season 2 remake is a lot stronger in this version, and it feels more visceral and more personal as someone who also struggled with that. um it kind of hits the mark a lot more accurately than it did the first time around. uh Initially when I was watching season 2, it kind of felt like um it kind of felt like Hunter was kind of like the savior man who was like saving Tess from her own mental illness or whatever. When I was initially watching season 2, it somewhat felt like Hunter was saving her from her depression in a way. I don't know how to explain that. It didn't it, it didn't feel nearly as personal as it did in the remake, and it had more so to do with how Hunter was initially written, like the guy who pulls mindset that was written in mind for him. So this time around, uh Tess's illness feels more like a characteristic and something that's actually a part of her story, rather than something that had to be like just gotten over, or like something that needed to be fixed in order for him to like reach out to her. I don't know, that's just my personal interpretation. That was kind of like my only gripe with their relationship to begin with, but for the most part, yeah, I like it. But this is about Tess, not Huntess, so I'm gonna put her in the twin tier. Wait. Yeah, she's going in the twin tier. I'll probably put her... Ooh, I don't know if I like her more than Gabby. I'll put her here. There we go. Okay. Okay, Tom. This character, Tom, I specifically remember putting him in, like, when I had originally made my original tier list, I put him here in the complex feelings tier. I can't really explain why I did that. I think I just had some complicated thoughts about Tom, in which I was kind of like mad at I don't know, I feel like I was like projecting some kind of like misplaced anger on Tom for I guess like for his like behavior in season 1, which like my opinion on him in season 1 is a lot different than my opinion on him now. I think the latest Tom Jake season really provided some clarity as to what the person he is today, and I really like how it kind of contextualized him. Needless to say, I like him now. And I think I'll put him in. I think I'll put him. I think I'll put him here. Yeah, I like Tom. I think that's. I think it's. I think it's safe to say that I like Tom. I think he. Yeah, I think he's fine. I'll put him right there. Trevor. Trevor. You're fine. You're okay, Trevor. I like him and Emily. That's about it. Tristan. I really like Tristan. Just a sweet character. I'm always gonna like characters like Tristan. They're just a sweetie pie. Um going into I guess going into season 4, I didn't expect them to last very long, but I feel like there are a lot more unexplored friendships outside of Vibe Tribe that I think they probably could have benefited from. Like I would love to see, cause it's like their closest friends are like people who are way older than them, like Zayd and Ivy, obviously. I probably would have liked to see them interact with characters like Amelie, for example. Obviously, this couldn't happen because Amelie got eliminated first, but I don't know. I feel like they could have had like just. They feel like that kind of character who would just be friends with everybody, or at least be on good terms with everybody, but they don't really talk to a lot of people. That's kind of my only gripe. But besides that, I love Tristan. They're cute. I'm gonna put them. I'll put them in the high tier. Yeah, maybe next to Natalia. Yeah, I'll put them there. Zayd. Okay. I have complex but mostly positive things to say about Zayd. I get the biggest issue I have with Zayd is kind of the exact same issue I had with Marissa, in that they're both very underutilized. Their attention, like the narrative doesn't pay a lot of attention to them in favor of like the more more like the characters that get put in the spotlight, like Anastasia and Ivy, and Logan. Like they just basically get sacrificed in order to benefit another character's story, and that kind of sucks because I feel like Zayd has a lot of potential. I think I did like how the story kind of paid attention to his feelings of like being angry, his sense of justice constantly being undermined. Like he has a very like strong moral compass, kind of. Like he doesn't like it when people play dirty. He especially doesn't like it when people aren't very honest about that. And I don't know, I feel like that could have been like an interesting precedent for him to kind of see, like have his like morality be tested. Like he never abandons his morals in favor of doing what it takes in the game, and I do like that, and I think that could have set up some interesting rivalries, kind of like how him and Hannah were, but it somewhat feels like he is just there to be angry and like have like people point at him and be like, hey, it's weird that you're being mad and like getting angry at people, stop doing that, even though he's like mostly justified for being mad because like he got slimed horrifically. Anyway, this is a tangent. I like Zayd. I'm gonna put Zayd in he has some problems, so I'm gonna put him up there. Um, you. Um, yeah, moving on. And finally, Will. I like Will. He's nice. I wish there was more of him, as is the case for many other characters, so you're gonna go here. And that is everybody. I think my opinion is probably gonna remain the same for most of the characters, besides the people who are coming back to season 5. I'll probably make another um in like during the time that season 5 is premiering, maybe like in the middle of the season, see if my opinions change at all. But this is pretty much it. This is my opinions of all the characters. For the most part, I really like this cast, like just in general. I think there are a lot of strong characters and a lot of things that you can say about even characters that don't get a lot of attention. And there's like something that you can like about each and every person. So, um yeah, I hope people enjoyed my weird half awake ramblings about Disventure camp characters, and thanks for watching. Bye.